new toilet kits in the toilets, new light fixtures, and you wouldn't believe what those little types of things will do, you know, for maintenance. So it's very, very critical. You got to know who your end user is. You know, I have property around military bases because both my kids are military, and that I can tell you that's an amazing resource, because just like Section 8, military is government, and they get paid bi-weekly on the 1st and the 15th. And if you get a soldier or a soldier's family, and they PCS, which means permanent change of station, their duty station is changed, and I can tell you there's more military bases in our area than anywhere else in the country. And these guys and gals get stationed here for 2 to 3 years, they will be one of the best residents that you have. A great site to go to is militarybyowner.com. A great resource to find properties that are listed or that are for rent, where you can contact the homeowners and see if they're interested in getting rid of their homes, or if you have a property you want to list, it'll list it around the 3 closest military bases in that area. But these soldiers get what's called an allotment, and that allotment is BAH, which is base housing allowance, and they get separate pay for their housing than they do from their biweekly paycheck. And you can, not taxed, and you can actually get that allotment direct deposited into your account. That's why we love the military. So, and it's really good when they come back from deployment, because usually it's all cash, tax-free money. So, all right, any other questions while everybody else is taking a break? Are there donuts back there?
There are. Please eat them before I eat them all.
You're sitting right next to me.
It smells so good.
It's Air Force.
I like the right area.
Right here, Florida, Antigua,
Denver, so I tested Florida, twice, and I put them in the per that LLC.
Yeah, until it closes, it's just a shell.
Right, but then it's just a shell, because you know, when January comes around again, I got to pay $300.
But that $300 is a tax notice.
Yeah, plus the 200 is really 190 to go down to Baltimore and 380. So you're in like $500 per LLC on that.
But again, it's the cost of doing business. If you're going to be able to walk away with a $50, $60, $70, $100,000 profit, $190 is nothing.
Yeah, but I was just a bulk, like I said. I'm just trying to figure out.
If you're putting that many offers in, God bless you, I would just have one else.
But then it's like you said, you know, so it works. It works. Initially, I started putting in just my company LLC. And then required to come back and say, no, so then I created it. But then, you know, somewhere down the line, you know, I was trying to guarantee that, you know,
that's the cost of doing business with choices. That's why I don't do it here. I don't like them. They take too long. They're way too
They're
time.
like bubble size. I would say you guys do
How do you expect? You know, it's 29 and
Just go on, I agree with it. Okay, now I got similar place.
Well, there's more REOs now.
You're because they were
Because banks have had to take these
the agent was
assets
supposed
back.
to
And there's something called the shadow inventory, which hasn't been unleashed yet.
was
And the
investor
shadow
savvy.
inventory is
She understood
the
right away.
millions and
And
millions
she was
of
using the term
properties
for Tammy.
that are sitting back in the shadows that the banks can't release
Lingo of
because of the
Oregon
shutter country down
versus
there.
the
So
agent
they
was working.
tear
She was a
them
nice
out.
lady. Didn't
They
get it.
allow,
She was a real
they
agent.
open up the floodgates and they close it back up, and they open it back up, and it's artificial inventory, because it makes our inventory look like it's gone way down, which everybody gets excited, thinking it's a seller's market, and then they open up the floodgates and all this inventory comes back out, and the market is so artificial right now.
I understand.
So artificial.
Like Maryland real estate license, they are really good. I forgot the name.
Oh yeah, because they sell it as tapes, and they'll take 300 or 400 properties for 10 cents on the dollar, and they sell it on a tape. But you have to buy that whole tape. So you're getting a lot of European, Asian investors that are coming over and buying up.
And then it's they're all,
Hedge funds do more.
the whole intent is to get
And they're doing, what I'm saying now, something a lot later.
I like what
Yeah, it was
Sid was
big.
saying.
They're going in and buying
Yeah,
right up into it.
Yeah, it just depends on the hedge fund's strategy.
They will press you.
Because then they
You
literally.
can take it online. I would recommend
They
it.
share it with the ones already.
They said, you know,
I wouldn't
And
put
I think the cost of
every.
it, something like
Oh, it's not. I haven't, I went
and you got a she goes 3 days a week.
Rest would be better off
She didn't go to Friday, so you
Well,
went away.
I want to know.
And you go to a class like
I
this.
know.
Banks, real estate, it's 4
She's taking 4 hours a day.
It's not, it's the short sale process is done, okay?
And
It's
she'll do
already
it on
foreclosed.
because it's ready for it goes out by 95. So, she'll get there about half an hour.
I'm gonna show you guys the property, I'm gonna show you guys the property at 4 unit.
Tuesday, she's going to buy. Because they've been divided to this.
Hey, now you want another one. I know you have to show.
To see if they, the student sign up before you sign on. Come meet the family and this is how
Try it out,
it's
close on it, go to contract, go to contract, close on it.
So you become kind of a student, because they want you to.
You're not dealing,
And I
you're
guess
dealing with
once they get serious, so, you know, anything. The question is, which I want to avoid, I don't want to become, I will never become. Yeah, sitting in the
I
house.
only do one thing anymore,
Wait,
right?
you see that? It's just, better things to do in my life. Price is good. But that's
Alright guys, ladies, gentlemen, come on in. I'm gonna answer that out loud. Ladies, gentlemen, come on in. Can you scoot up just a little bit? Thank you. Alright, Ryan had a really good question. Let's talk about this question real quick and then we'll move on to the second part of our presentation. Ryan's question was if you're an investor and you're out there putting in a lot of deals, and I mean a lot of offers on deals, it's a numbers game, right? So let's say you're putting in 3, 2, 5, 10, 15 offers a week or every 2 weeks. What is an offer? What is it? Anybody?
It's an offer, it's not a ratified.
It's an offer. Is it a ratified contract? No. Are you obligated to close on it? No. So if you have 10 offers out there, does that mean you're going to buy and close on 10 properties? No. The ones that get done, you then ratify. You're now obligated to close on that deal unless there are contingencies in that contract. It is not a contract until it is ratified. Ratified means both the buyer and the seller sign and agree to the written terms. Until that time, it is called a purchase and sales agreement or an offer. Yes?
Are you tying up earnest money when you do that? Because you still, when you make your offer, you gotta put up some money.
I don't put up earnest money until the contract's ratified. Why should I tie up my money until that contract is ratified?
You can make your,
I didn't know that.
you can, if you have to submit a check with the offer,
Yeah.
you can make it out to your title company. And it can be held as check funds, which means they don't even cash it.
Right. You always, always have your earnest money, no matter which way you can, unless the other side is insistent on it, you can't get around it, that your attorney, your title company holds your money. Because it's a lot easier to get your money back from your attorney than it is to try to get it back from the other side.
And just, so the thing about this whole real estate business, you have to have a relationship with title companies. And that's important. And just like contractors and agents, you have to have a good relationship with title companies as well. So when you're doing offers, and you're putting out 10, 12 offers, and you're doing these EMD deposits, you gotta make sure that the title company you work with, you guys have a good understanding on how things are gonna get settled and so forth. So try to work with at least one, if not two title companies.
So this title company is giving me some type of document that I'm giving to everyone else, and say, just for numbers' sake, it's $1,000 earnest money.
Right.
Is this title company, I got my $1,000 with this earnest, with this title company. This title company gives me some type of document that says it's worth $1,000, then I can go to make 5 or 6 offers, and I have something to show that my title company is holding this $1,000.
No.
No. What are you saying?
So, like, I use the same title company. I use Milestone Title. That's who I've been working with for years. She knows me, I know her. So when I'm doing my offers, I said, you know, this offer is going to be settled with Milestone, and they are holding my $1,000. So when I write out my check, I write out the Milestone Title, and I send that in with my contract.
Or you make a photocopy of
Yeah.
the check and send it in.
But I'm not actually giving the check to Milestone.
Because of the relationship that he has with Milestone. Milestone knows he's good for it. So he takes a photocopy of that check for $1,000 to Milestone Title. It says earnest money deposit EMD for 123 Main Street down in the memo line. Takes a photocopy of it and he sends it in with his offer to the bank.
So if I'm making 5 offers, I have to go to Milestone and give them 5 different checks
Yeah.
for each
yeah,
property
you can't use the,
at $1,000 each.
Yeah.
So if I'm making 5 to 10 offers, I need to have $5,000 to $10,000 set aside to do that.
No, only if it's getting, only if it's getting ratified.
It's the same
That's the only one
as
that's
the-
required if it's ratified. And even then, it can just, you don't have to cash it, they're just gonna hold on to it for you. But I hope you get the cash, just in case.
And you can use 500 too, by the way. Not 1,000.
Depends on the sales price of the property.
How many
And if
people
you
are-
really want it bad enough, you can put a $50,000 earnest money deposit. If you get it, you better have the $50,000.
Does that influence the sum?
Well, I mean, if I really want something just to show, I will put in a large deposit to show that I'm serious.
Right.
You know, so.
The more that is on the line for the seller to take the property off the market, the more they want to see that you have good faith in case you default. So, I mean, for example, this property up in PA that I'm getting ready to settle on, the seller is an attorney and we've got a great relationship. I only have to put down $25,000 as an earnest money. You know, he could literally tell me that he wants 50 to 100. You know, but it's all based on the relationship and the dollar amount of the property. I'm going to show you a property where both of my students closed on their properties and they only put down 1,000. But that 1,000 doesn't go hard until the contract's ratified. It's just simply held in escrow until then. Yeah.
And then the question becomes proof of funds from the bank. Okay, show me, Steve, indeed you got the pick of the amount to be able to close on the deal.
And again, it depends on the property. You can get a proof of funds letter, which is a snapshot of your bank statement. You can get proof of funds from a hard money lender. Anybody can write a proof of funds. It's not worth the paper it's written on, to be honest with you. It's just simply a document that's got to be in their file for auditing purposes. I don't mean to sound
No, I got you,
jaded, but know
because,
what I mean?
you know,
We as an investor, we worry about these things, and it's just not something
yeah,
we need
because
to
it's
worry
always,
about.
you know, always comes back to say, okay, you got that. Now, when you're doing the offer, there's a written contract, not a contract, but a written piece that you're putting in.
Wait, I'm sorry, say that
Okay.
again?
When I put an offer in, okay, I am sending in my earnest money, not to the title company earnest money. They require proof of funds, okay, I got that attached.
Right.
And that's on to we are purchase and sales agreement from that company or real estate, whatever it happens to be.
No, I'm gonna show you on a HUD one.
Okay.
Okay, I'll show you. The earnest money, I'm gonna, can you hold that?
Got it.
I'm trying to figure out how to tell it to you, but I wanna show it to you.
Okay, okay.
Alright, so let's move on. Alright, so as most of you know, for those of you that don't know, my business partner and I, Andre Johnson, created the District REI, which is a real estate investment association. This is the Deal Makers Academy that we have created in coordination and collaboration with Sid and Next Stage Realty. And I can tell you, if you really get what we're going to be talking about now and in the future, is a power that you can harness that most people don't get. They don't get the power of what we're going to share with you, okay? Being an investor agent puts you at a whole nother level in the sandbox. Whole different level. So, District REI, we hold our meetings obviously all the way around the Beltway. Next Stage is owned by Sid and Johnny. Johnny is
He's the pro.
right, but Johnny is the broker, and Johnny is what, 25 years?
Yeah, 25.
25-year plus as a HUD inspector. Okay, so we're going to be bringing him in and getting all of his information about what he sees when he's inspecting HUD homes. Sid owns Brickfront Properties. These are all LLCs. Okay, it's the greatest entity that was ever created. Brickfront Properties is Sid's company that does all of his renovations. So when he's buying a rehab, do you think he's buying it under Next Stage or Brickfront Properties? Brickfront Properties. Do you think he uses an agent through Next Stage as a buyer's agent or a seller's agent?
Probably.
Yes. Okay, he's helping his agents who understand investing. I'm an agent. I was taught by Long & Foster and by Weichert and eventually went to RE/MAX. We were taught how to sell and protect the broker. We were taught to work for the broker. We were taught to help buyers get the best deal possible and to help sellers get the most amount of money possible on what is called a retail level. Okay? That is a different ball game than what we play in. We don't buy retail, period, or you'll go bankrupt. So, how do you become an investor agent? Why do you want to become an investor agent? What we do is we have put together all of these modules, these trainings. Today is one of them on how do you become an investor agent. How do I learn how to do all of the educational requirements. As an agent, there are continuing education requirements by law that you have to do. How do you do those? How do I learn how to do analysis? How do I know how to find the right deals? Where do I find the buyers? How do I find the motivated sellers? How do I analyze and help my buyer understand that they're getting a good deal? Or how do I find this motivated seller and analyze? What about a motivated seller that calls you, you go and they want to list their house and you go talk to them, only to realize once you get there that the house actually needs to have a little bit of work done. You find out what the real motivation of the seller is, only to learn that it's not best to be utilized with an exit strategy as a listing, but you could put your investor hat on, have a conversation with that seller, maybe even possibly buy that house. Most realtors, agents don't get that. They don't understand that concept. If they can't list it, they throw away the exit strategy. Every property has an exit strategy. How do you fund the deals? This is everybody's biggest dilemma. This is what everybody worries about. Sleepless nights over it, right? Been there, done that, but I tell you what, people don't do business with people that they don't know, like, and trust. People aren't going to just give you money just because of the deal. People will lend to you because of their relationship with you. You've got to cultivate, nurture, and build these relationships. Sometimes it takes years. Does that make sense? Well, Tammy, I know you've got investors. I know they'll lend to me. No, they won't. Do I have a lot of investors? Yes. Do you think they're going to lend to you? No. They don't know who you are. But do they know who I am? Yes, I even had a private investor just lend one of my students $150 cash. Why? Because of me. It's money I walked away from to help one of my students. Remember I said go giver? Okay? It's all about helping others. How do we do that? That's what we're going to share with you how to do. Guys, these are things over 15 years that nobody's taught me, right?
Yes.
I mean, how many mistakes have you made and
Well,
I made? And there was none of this here. So because of all these years of accumulated experience, we don't want you guys to have to go through that learning curve. We're here to shed that learning curve off of you. How do you put together a rehab budget? You know how much money I've lost? But I'm still here. I brush the dirt off my knees and I get up and say, okay, I obviously didn't analyze that right. There's big investors, big pockets on big deals. Do you think they overanalyze and underestimate? Yeah, it happens all the time, right? Okay, why isn't this moving? Buying right. How do you know to buy right? It's all about buying. You make your money when you buy. Does that make sense to everyone, or is that confusing? Does everybody understand that? If you don't, guys, this really is the time to get it understood.
That's the key, to buy it right. That's the key.
Because I have people say, well, how do you make money when you buy it right? Has anybody ever thought that? How do you honestly make money if you buy it right? Is anybody confused by that? Thank you. I appreciate your honesty. Would you elaborate on buying right?
Well, I mean, buying it right, I mean, it's, you know, first of all, you never want to steal anything from anybody. You want to make them a fair price offer. But you're always thinking of the exit. You're always thinking the end amount. Like if I buy it for 100, can I really sell it for 200? So when I say buy it right, you want to have a fair exchange, you know, for that property. So it's never like trying to take grandma's house for $10,000. That's, seeing it, you know, you got to buy it right where it's a win-win for everybody. And also in terms of the exit, it makes sense for the numbers.
Here's the problem with being ADHD. This is driving me nuts. Will you hand me that thing down there, please? Oh, that's way too high. Can I borrow your phone? Thank you. I'll take this one. Oh, sorry. That was rude of me. Wholesaling. What is wholesaling? I can tell you, as a national speaker, as a coach, being out on the circuit, a lot of gurus wonderfully talk about the benefits of wholesaling. There are a lot of benefits to wholesaling, but I can also tell you that wholesaling is one of the hardest exit strategies that there is. And yet, that is what most brand new investors get into. We're going to share with you why. As a brand new investor, do you have a buyer's list yet? Do you have a strong database of all the properties that are available underneath of the radar? No. Do you have a really strong marketing campaign targeting specific neighborhoods to get these properties to turn around and wholesale them out to other investors? No. It takes years, 3 to 5 years to build up a strong wholesale business. Can you do it? Yes. It's a strategy just like a wholesale, but it does take time. Are they right, all the gurus, in teaching you that it is quick and it is easy? Yeah. There are people who make quick money, right?
For sure.
Right?
You got to be consistent.
You have to be consistent. It's one of those markets that no matter what, you have to be the most consistent in. This is become my forte, but I'll tell you what, it has been a journey over the last 7 years, and that's property management, asset management. I truly have a very fond appreciation for toilets and trash. But I can tell you that none of my tenants are tenants, they're residents. I'm not a landlord, I'm a property owner. My residents are not tenants, they're also our neighbors. And we create communities. We don't just have a building or a property. Because without tenants, you don't get income. Without income, you don't become financially independent. So I love it when burnt-out landlords become burnt-out landlords just simply because they don't understand property management. Over the past 7 years, I have perfected with my team and my attorneys the most unbelievable paperwork, documents. My lease, and I have a 12-month lease, and I have a month-to-month rental agreement. They're 47 pages long. One. Why? because we've been hit upside down, inside out on every single thing you can imagine. We're documented and we're covered. There isn't anything at this point, well, there probably still will be, something that a resident could do that we haven't experienced. Do you think you make your money on your buying, right? Well, when you bring a new resident into property management, when do you think you make your money? When you screen them. When you screen them. So we have an exclusive contract with a resident tenant screening service. We screen on a national level. Each one costs $40. I check national terrorism. I check everything, all the way. It's a 40-page report that comes spitting out of the computer within less than a minute, telling me everything I want to know about this person. But it also gives us an opportunity to then coach, guide, or educate them and teach them financial literacy, because most people don't understand it. How do you hire the right contractors? Contractors have the first 3 letters, your CON. It's for a reason.
They didn't even get it.
Now, do you, hold on, let's just go further. Do you think that there are contractors who will take advantage of a brand new investor? Okay. When I told you that I just did research on a furnace, guys, a gas heating source. Why did I get a price of $2,500 to $5,000 for the same 1.5 ton unit? Different contractor, right? If they know, sense, or feel that you don't know what you're talking about, do you think they're going to take advantage of you? Yes. Okay? We have 9 documents that our contractors sign upon the first meeting. Insurance indemnification, independent contractor agreement, W-9, release waiver. They don't get a check until I get the paperwork. 9 documents every contractor must sign. You're going to get all those, okay? We share all that with you. How do you avoid the pitfalls? Learning through the mistakes that all of us have made. They're invaluable. I think I have spent more money in mistakes, which have ended up being some of the greatest seminars that we actually have ever been to. So instead of saying this business doesn't work, I failed, I didn't make any money, instead you need to say to yourself, what can I learn from this? What can I take away from this experience to be better on the next project? Is your glass half full or your glass half empty? Most people back out of real estate immediately upon a mistake or a failure.
And just to touch on that, I mean, one thing that I do a mental exercise. Every time I go through a deal, I go back and what I call rewind the tape. I look at the tape, just like football, you look at the previous game, and I analyze what happened. You know, I mean, did I hire this guy properly? You know, why did I go above budget here? Why was I under budget here? You know, how were the decisions made? Was the delivery made on time? Did the window guys, instead of taking 10 days, into 20 days? How can you improve it? How can you modify it? Right? How can you tweak it? So everything I do, I try to learn from it, and then try to tweak my processes and systems to make it more effective and efficient. Because holding costs, I'm trying to get all my holding costs and everything down.
It can eat you alive.
You know, so you gotta, everything you do, you want to learn from it and try to better your game.
And then we kind of went through a little bit of this morning, but this takes time to learn. We get it because we've made mistakes with it. We're going to teach you how to understand and get to understanding true numbers. What is the real cost to you? I love it when investors say, "Oh, here's a copy of my $50,000 check." Did they really net $50,000? No. No, they didn't. They were lucky if they netted 20. So the check should say 20,000. But people get these big eyes saying they're going to make 50,000 on a deal, and at the end of the day, you have to pay taxes on that 50,000. Guys, take 38% right off the top. What about, you know, all of the other costs? What about the referral fees? What about, you know, this fee? What about the money you borrowed from your mom to, you know, to help you get the deal done? I mean,
and the
really.
marketing expense.
And the marketing expenses, yeah, it adds up. We're gonna really drill down and break this down because this is where I made my biggest mistakes. I didn't get the power and the seriousness of understanding how to really drill down into numbers. Would you say it was a big mistake for you?
Well, my biggest mistake was hiring the wrong contractors. They would tell me I need 100 sheets of drywall, and then we use like 60 on my job and take the other 40
Yes.
somewhere else.
See, contractor. See?
So that was my
And that's
mistake.
why you became a contractor, right?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Do you think you can go get a license and become your own GC? Yeah. Yeah, of course you can. Absolutely. Or you can align yourself with good people who have integrity, like Brian, like Sydney, like Sid and Sydney, that are here as investors. They are an investor. It's like going to a CPA who doesn't understand real estate investing. Work with a contractor that understands the game that you're in.